Comparison right here should tell Americans everything they need to know about what's going on in our country. On August 9th, Biden asked Congress for $40 billion to support Ukraine. $40 billion additional dollars. Billion. But over here, in response to a natural disaster that is occurring in one of your own states, President Biden offers $1.9 million. $1.9 million, which is $700 a household. Maui has over $6 billion in damages. But we're not going to ask Congress for that $6 billion with over 100 people confirmed dead, over 1,000 people confirmed missing.
And let the facts kind of sift out. I don't want to be first. I just don't. I'm not in that business. I'm not in the clickbait business. So I was waiting a little while as to not be overly harshly critical on what happened in Maui without the facts. I don't want to do what they did to other people in these natural disasters, Trump and others with Puerto Rico and everything, and just crapping all over him without knowing everything. But now that I know stuff, folks, Biden should just leave the presidency tomorrow. What happened in Maui, I got that, and also an update on how they're going to scam this 2024 election or how they're going to try. Big show today. I've been analyzing all the information, the data that's come in, the reporting, trying to weigh it.
I'm not going to interrupt anymore, but before we keep going, I do want to ask you guys, do you guys find what happened in Maui, before he dives in and he gives us his thoughts, what do you guys think overall? Do you guys think there's other things involved there? Do you think that we should be more worried about why it happened, the way it happened? What do you guys think about Maui, man?
And balance equities here about who's engaging in hysteria and who's telling the real story. And I feel like we've got a good grasp about what happened. The Biden presidency should be over after the unbelievably uncaring, callous, and candidly evil response to the wildfires in Hawaii. Folks, it's incredible. Listen, I get it. I am not faulting for as much as I really, really cannot stand Joe Biden. And I mean a deep, deep disdain for this kid-sniffing, woman-feeling, corrupt, bribe-taking, plagiarizing, sociopathic liar. I can't blame this guy for the weather and a hurricane that went through there and spread these wildfires. But you can damn well blame this guy for the shit response and the just evil reaction to the death of what could be, when this is done, maybe close to or over 1,000 people, including kids. I mean, it is apocalyptic in certain portions of Maui from what good friends of mine on the ground are telling me. People died horrible deaths. And what's rotting oatmeal brains doing? Sunning his nuts on a beach in Delaware. The most pathetic, disgusting human being we have ever seen. And believe me, I waited a few days to come to that analysis on this because I wanted to give this guy a chance, just a chance to, for once in his pathetic bribe-taking life, to do the right thing. He still hasn't been there. And it took him days after no comment and all this other bullshit to finally get his head out of his ass and to say something. Listen to this quick snippet of a report from CBS that there may be hundreds of children who died in it. This is just horrible, but you got to know what's going on. Take a listen.
With more than 1,300 still missing, we heard about fears that many are children.
I'm just going to be very direct with people always. When the bodies are smaller, we know it's a child. That's one of the toughest parts of this.
President Biden today is speaking about the tragedy for the first time in 5 days.
5 days, folks. Took him 5 days to open his mouth.
5 days.
5 days. 5 days. You know, where is this guy, man? Where is this guy? No assistance, no word, 5 days to talk about it. No government contact or no government assistance, I should say, for 3 days. Here's even media people in the Brady press room yesterday asking the FEMA administrator, Deanna Criswell, who should just instantly resign after this. You are literally the head of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. This is what you do. 3 days to respond, 5 days for the administration to open their mouths about it? You got to be shitting me, man. Here, listen to this. Even the left-wing hack media is starting to ask questions from this idiot in the White House. Take a listen.
I heard everything you said about all the resources that are being brought to bear, but we keep interviewing survivor after survivor who says that either they didn't see any government personnel or assistance for days, or that they still haven't. How do you explain the disconnect between what they're saying and what you're saying about all the resources that are there right now?
I think you need to understand that this community is going through an amazingly traumatic event. I can tell you that we have personnel that are on the ground year-round and embedded in with the state as soon as the fire started, so we could continue to understand what resources were needed and help move them in.
Yeah, but you didn't do anything. For 3 days, you sat on your ass.
How long did it take? I remember this Puerto Rico stuff. I wasn't into politics then, but how long did it take Obama. Whoa! How long did it take Donald Trump? How long did it take Obama? How long did it take everybody else to show up to these plates? Because I remember Trump was always on point. Like he was just on point. When something happened, like recently, East Palestine, Ohio, he showed up. Right now, Hawaii, he throws a message in front of the world like, "Hey, I hope you guys are good." You know what I'm saying? The Biden administration they're not on top of that. Like, let me know how many days it took for Trump, and because I know it didn't take that many days in East Palestine when he showed up.
About politics. But human beings burning alive in their cars. The hell were you doing? Oatmeal brains, his son and his nuts on a beach in Delaware? Nothing to say? Reminds me of Obama when the special mission complex in Benghazi was being assaulted. What was he doing? Sleeping. Got to get those Z's in there, you know? God forbid there's a national emergency or anything. Folks, and the local leadership in Hawaii, you get no pass either. Here is a guy by the name of Kaleo Manuel. Kaleo Manuel is a local official there who is being accused, these are allegations, of mismanaging water assets during this fire when they could have been used to put the fire out. He's free to defend himself or not. But then this surfaced. Now, this is not after. This has happened way before. But this is what happens when you put people in charge who want to like pray to the water gods besides actually helping people out there with water that could put a fire out. Folks, you got to get people in charge in these states, Democrat, Republican, conservative, or liberal, I don't care, who know what they're doing. The country's falling apart. We got a class of people in charge who seem to be so detached from reality. They give spiels like this when talking about the water. Listen to this.
The commission is responsible per our authorizing statute to protect and manage all water resources in the state. One Water is like taking it and looking at it from a holistic system perspective. And that's not any different than how Hawaiians traditionally manage water. You know, in essence, Native Hawaiians treated water as one of the earthly manifestations of a god and a kua kane. And so that reverence for a resource and that reciprocity in relationship was something that was really, really important to our worldview.
You know, that's great. You're free to worship whoever you want. That's absolutely your right in the United States of America, which Hawaii is obviously a part of. Joe Biden probably doesn't know that. He probably thinks they're like the Virgin Islands or something like that, like some far off place. He probably thinks it's like, he probably thinks that Hawaii's in Australia or something like that. Worship whoever you want. But you're a key government official paid by taxpayer dollars. Isn't it weird how the Establishment Clause only seems to apply, you know, in rare circumstances for these people? I mean, this is just bizarre. Here, it gets even worse. Sorry for all this video, but this is just like, I mean, really, Joe Biden should just resign today over what has been just, I mean, an unadulterated evil response to what happened here. How the media is not all over this guy. Here's John Podesta. I mean, one of his highest ranking advisors in the White House, who again, just when you think these people can't kick you in the balls and humiliate you enough, here's Podesta using this tragedy in Maui to pump the Inflation Reduction Act and to make points and score points about climate change?
Oh, that's what this is about, guys. We got to the bottom of it. It's about climate change. That's what it's pretty much about. Never let an opportunity go to waste.
Ladies and gentlemen, this actually happened. Listen for yourself. Check this out.
To stop these disasters from getting even worse, we have to cut the carbon pollution that's driving the climate crisis. And that's what the Inflation Reduction Act is all about. It makes the largest investment in clean energy and climate action in the world, touching every sector: power, transportation, buildings, industry, agriculture, and forestry.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand, man, we are being led by imbeciles. We are being led by a moron class. How roughly 5 to 10,000 of the dumbest, most greedy, mercenary morons on planet Earth all managed to coagulate in Washington, D.C. like a blood clot at the same time, whether it's through the bureaucracy, whether it's through cabinet level officials, members of Congress, the Senate, how they all managed to find themselves in D.C. has been your doom and destruction. We are being led by a moron class, and our only salvation is us. We are the leaders we've been waiting for. Do you understand? Do you understand? We are the leaders we've been waiting for. If you really believe that this country is a country for the people, by the people, and that's not just some bumper sticker, then it's your time to take it back. It is your duty to take it back. Because the moron class in charge now is literally getting people killed. That is not a figurative statement. What the hell happened up there? Children being burned alive. The White House has no comment on it. We're all too busy now, though, finding the latest indictment for Donald Trump. You don't want to take care of the out of control inflation, wages going down, people losing their jobs, working 2 or 3 jobs right now to feed themselves. You're sitting here dicking around, sitting there in your basement with your freaking Lubriderm all day and your Ben and Jerry's ice cream. Losers. Pieces of garbage running this place. Hard to take, man. You know how proud I was? I get off topic here, but you know how proud I was when I raised my right hand when I first joined the Secret Service and took that oath. You know how proud I was? I got all choked up, man. I did. I got all choked up. And the fact that what that flag represents just doesn't matter to basically 90% of Washington, D.C., who's in it for a paycheck or to advance their sick ideology.
Yeah, man. America is this Maui stuff. I just, it was heartbreaking watching the videos. So I try not to watch the videos, but I've been doing a lot of digging, and man, there is so much that needs to be investigated there overall. But I think that the way that this administration handled that deserves a video. It deserves attention. It deserves us coming together and, you know, talking about this, because it's just heartbreaking, man, the way, you know, the way these things are being handled. And like I said, like, we can make the comparison between administrations. And I think that Trump, whatever you say about Trump, whether he's going over there for attention or not or whatever, bruh, the man always showed up. The man always showed up exactly when something bad was happening. He will show up and he will be there. It doesn't look like that's the same case with Biden. Somebody tell me otherwise, man. I'll see you guys on the next one.